Hammy Kids!
Operation Ouch! The Clonewards! Play. Profile select. Create a new profile. Yes! All the hospital staff have been washed away! The patients are still arriving. We're going to have to run the hospital ourselves. Panic! Stop it! How does a hospital even work? Well, in this hospital, patients need to go through 3 stages: diagnosis, treatment, and recovery. In diagnosis, the nurse figures out what's wrong. In treatment, the doctors make the patient better. And in recovery, the nurses make sure the patient has fully recovered before they're discharged. Oh, thank goodness. There's still a nurse. The nurses run the triage department. They wear purple scrubs. And here, they diagnose the patients before they're treated. To treat this patient, start by selecting the nurse. Move them over to the bed. We now know what's wrong with the patient, but we need somewhere to treat them. We need a treatment room. And look, we've just unlocked one. That's lucky. Hang on, we're going to need another doctor to work in this room, but we don't have any. Wait, I found a secret room. What's that? It's a cloning machine. What? You mean a machine with which we can create our own genetically engineered staff? Yes. That's lucky. I know. Let's press some buttons. Amazing! We've successfully cloned a much better looking doctor. Doctors wear blue scrubs like mine and work in the treatment departments. Hey! But I wear green scrubs! Well, in this hospital we all wear blue, so get used to it. Move the doctor over to the bed. What do we need to do now? Now they need to recover. We've just unlocked a recovery ward. That's lucky. Now we need a nurse to help our patient recover. As well as working in the triage area, nurses work in the recovery ward too. Here, they make sure the patients feel better before they leave the hospital. Oh, look! There's one we used earlier. Select that nurse. Move the nurse over to the bed to help the patient recover. Success! Our first patient is treated. The more patients you heal, the more the reward meter will fill. When the meter is full, you'll receive a reward. Now move the nurse back to the triage room to diagnose more patients. Drag over here to move the camera. Use the plus and minus buttons to zoom in and out of your hospital. You can zoom out to manage the whole building at once, or zoom in for a closer look. I think we've got the hang of this, Chris. As long as we don't have too many more patients arrive, we'll be fine. Oops, you can't move that nurse there. Nurses can only be assigned to the pink diagnosis and green recovery rooms in your hospital. Looks like there's a patient in need of a nurse. Oh look, patient is queuing in your hospital.
Don't keep them waiting or they'll get angry. And you won't like them when they're angry.
Oh no! A patient is getting impatient. Try to keep them all happy, or who knows what will happen.
Keeping patients moving smoothly through your hospital will put your hospital is running really smoothly.
You should add a new bed to your hospital.
Don't listen to him. Your hospital needs another nurse. It looks nothing like me.
Patients who are flown in by helicopter get sent straight to the... You found a new illness!
A simple tummy bug can be treated at home, but if it gets more serious, you might need to give the patient some medicine from the pharmacy.
Unlock the pharmacy. The pharmacy dispenses medicines to patients. Place a doctor in the pharmacy to open it up and start treating patients. Your pharmacy needs a doctor to help run it. Try moving the one you already have to treat that patient.
Don't let that patient go unattended.
There's a patient. The patient has become so angry, they've snot split.
There's a patient that needs a doctor.
You should add a new bed to your hospital.
What a silly idea. You need a new doctor. It looks nothing like me.
Well done. Why not clone a new healthcare specialist?
I don't think so, Chris. Surely they need to get their hearts back. It looks nothing like me.
Found a new illness!
Bubble bomb! Whoa, that smells like one for the pharmacy.
There are chickens loose all over this hospital. Can you find them all? You should add a new bed to your hospital.
For collecting all the lost chickens.
Why not clone a new healthcare specialist?
I don't think so, Chris. Surely they need to get their hearts back.
Press the buttons on the clone machine to clone this staff member.
You've diagnosed a new condition. Pregnancy. Pregnant patients give birth to babies in the maternity ward.
You have unlocked the maternity ward. You've unlocked a new recovery ward, the baby ward. Ah, babies born spread instant happiness throughout the hospital.
Ooh, a baby.
Looks like there's a patient in need of a nurse. Oops! You can't move a doctor there. Doctors can only be assigned to the blue treatment rooms in the middle of your hospital. You should add a new bed to your hospital.
What a silly idea. You need a new doctor. It looks nothing like me. There's a patient that needs a doctor. There's a patient that needs a doctor.
Great work curing patients. That's another 10 patients healed. You found a new illness. A patient with a sore arm could have a sprain or a fracture. This patient has sprained their wrist, so they just need to rest it, maybe with some painkillers from the pharmacy. Why not get all your hearts back?
Well, don't listen to him. You really need to boost through these patients.
Well done. You found a new illness.
A patient with a sore leg could have a sprain or a fracture. This patient has just sprained their ankle, so they should only need rest and maybe some painkillers from the pharmacy.
You should add a new bed to your hospital.
Don't listen to him! Your hospital needs another nurse!
That's another 10 patients healed. Way to go!
It appears there are a number of gorillas on the loose and targeting local hospitals. Please keep an eye out and refrain from any petting.
Is anyone else seeing these bananas? What's going on down there? Looks like there's a patient in need of a nurse. Looks like there's a patient in need of a nurse. That's another 10 patients healed. Way to go!
Quick! A patient's turned into a gorilla! No, wait. That can't be right.
You found a new illness! Somebody open a window. I think this patient has a case of the farts. You unlocked the decontamination unit.
That's where we treat the zombies!
We don't need to tell them about that. The decontamination unit treats, zombies. The decontamination unit is staffed by a doctor, for now.
Don't let that patient go unattended!
Why not get all your hearts back?
Nuh-uh, the patients really need some cheering up. Let's play some hospital radio.
Keep up the good work. You found a new illness.
This patient has taken a truck to the ear. Luckily, it's nothing too serious.
You unlocked the ear, nose and throat unit.
The ear, nose and throat unit treats problems with the ears, nose or throat.
The ear, nose and throat unit is staffed by a doctor.
Don't let that patient go unattended. Outbreak of pukey virus, and lots of patients are coming in for treatment. We'll do our best for them.
Oh no, a bay has broken down. That's enough. Your patients are getting angry. Let's make them happier with some hospital radio.
Well, don't listen to him. You really need to boost through these patients. Woo, a baby.
Looks like there's a patient in need of a nurse.
Woo, a baby.
done.
There's a patient that needs a doctor.
There are chickens loose all over this hospital. Can you find them all? That's another 10 patients healed. Way to go! You should add a new bed to your hospital.
Don't listen to him. Your hospital needs another nurse. It looks nothing like me.
How about a game of chicken?
Don't let that patient go unattended.
Why not clone a new healthcare specialist?
But don't listen to him. It looks nothing like me.
How about a game of chicken? The most basic medical advice I can give is don't stick toys in your ear. Just don't do it. Unfortunately, a lot of patients are about to arrive after doing just that. Don't be like them. Don't stick toy trucks in your ears. Whoa, hang on. Isn't that what I think it is? That's another 10 patients healed. You can clone a new nurse.
What a silly idea. You need a new doctor. It looks nothing like me. Oh, look! A helicopter! That's another patient killed.
How about a game of chicken? You found a new illness! Rather than being covered in spots, this patient is covered in stripes. Unbelievable!
You unlocked the laboratory. Some patients need to be sent to the lab for further diagnosis. You need a nurse in the lab to keep it running.
Looks like there's a patient in need of a nurse. Why not clone a new healthcare specialist?
Well, don't listen to him. You really need to boost through these patients. It looks nothing like me.
How about a game of chicken?
Well done for collecting all...
You've treated 100 patients. Amazing!
That's another patient cured. There's a patient that needs a doctor. Gross! There's been an outbreak of pukey virus, and lots of patients are coming in for treatment. We'll do our best for them. Don't let that patient go unattended. Ooh, a baby. Ooh, a baby.
There are chickens loose all over this hospital. Can you find them all? You should add a new bed to your hospital.
It looks nothing like me.
Oops! You can't move a doctor there. Doctors can only be assigned to the blue treatment rooms in the middle of your hospital. Oops, you can't move that nurse there. Nurses can only be assigned to the pink diagnosis and green recovery rooms in your... Oh no! Too many patients have snot exploded, and you've got an awful mess to clear up.